Public safety dominated the conversation, starting with Mayor Wilson's newly proposed sales tax to fund more bus services.
I am all for taxes when the system is working, but I'm not sure if I'm going to get home safely tonight.
Others shared stories of shootings, stabbings, and employees carrying whistles for their safety, as businesses are paying for private security, claiming police never show up.
Because if you spend 10% of your revenue on private security, that's like an extra sales tax.
Do you know that almost 25 employees have had to use that whistle? They're not safe in downtown Seattle.
Some said they feel the candidate they campaigned for has turned their back on them.
You're talking about gun violence, and it's not at the top. We helped you campaign, and you forgot all about us.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, things are just getting progressively worse and worse, really bad now in Seattle under Democrat Socialist Mayor Katie Wilson, who now has her own supporters who are turning on her. They were already starting to turn on her. They realizing that the socialist utopia that they were promised, not going according to plan. And now it's getting worse because they discovered that she's been pushing the massive homeless population into neighborhoods away from where the World Cup games are being played. And of course, that is affecting those businesses in that area because people are avoiding those areas. And this is all coming out as they also discovered that the very agency responsible for solving the homelessness crisis in Seattle, they have unaccounted for funds. Unaccounted, ladies and gentlemen. We know what that means. And so as always, smash that thumbs up button if you enjoy the content. That's the best way you can let me know. For more, subscribe to the channel. Let's start right here.
Significant changes in how Seattle and King County will approach homelessness. Today, the executive and mayor jointly announcing a major downsizing of the King County Regional Homelessness Authority. That agency has been tasked with solving the homeless crisis since 2019, but since then, the rate of homelessness has only gone up and millions of dollars unaccounted for.
These are significant changes to how we deliver our regional response to homelessness.
The King County Regional Homelessness Authority has been mired in controversy for many years, and a recent audit released damning evidence of $13 million of unaccounted spending.
It's no secret that over the past 6 years, this organization has experienced significant leadership turnover, multiple audits, and most recently, an independent forensic evaluation that identified serious concerns related to financial management, governance, and internal controls.
That prompted some politicians to call for a complete dissolution of KCRHA.
Mayor Wilson and I have inherited a lot of issues, but we will not maintain the status quo just because change is hard.
Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson and King County Executive Gurmai Zahalai say they are not ready to dissolve the agency completely, but they are taking local dollars back from KCRHA, mostly leaving the agency to handle federal funding.
We are reabsorbing our city and county contracts to the city and the county. And, this I feel is really, for me, a matter of taking political responsibility.
The agency's budget is roughly $200 million per year. The move means the agency will see most of those dollars go away, but will handle around $67 million in federal continuum of care funding to fight homelessness.
We have seen another significant increase, especially in our rates of unsheltered homelessness, which we should all feel is unacceptable and feel a real urgency around addressing that fact.
After the announcement, KCRHA CEO Dr. Kelly Kinnison acknowledged the agency hasn't met expectations, but she says eliminating it is not the answer.
It is a failed experiment, and I think we need to do something different. So I really respect the courage of the mayor and the executive to do that. Mayor Wilson's right that this actually puts political accountability back where it should be.
Yeah, so what happened right there, you got Seattle that's dealing with a massive level of homelessness in the city. And then you also have Seattle, who had an agency that was responsible for solving the homelessness crisis in Seattle. And instead, it looks like it was pretty much corruption. And so now what you can say is that this wasn't just under her leadership. So I guess she gets a break there. But I mean, last mayor was also Democrat. Last mayor was a far left, not as far left as her. And so Seattle exchanged a far left Democrat for a Democrat socialist. So tomato, tomato, right? And so now let's go to the locals in Seattle who are having a little bit of buyer's remorse, ladies and gentlemen. They want to get their money back, but there is a no exchange policy on these type of situations right here. When you elect the Democrat Socialist, you get what you get. And so now they turned on her and they're calling her racist for dumping homeless drug addicts in their neighborhood away from where the World Cup games are being played. And it's affecting business in that area. Check this out.
Hello, I'm Gary Lee, and I'm a retired fighter, and I'm an advocate for the CID. And I say, why us? Seriously, why us? We trusted Mayor Wilson, we believe in Mayor Wilson, but in the end, she lied to our Asian American community. She said there would be zero tolerance for drug dealing and selling stolen goods. But the corner of 12th Avenue and Jackson Street is worse than ever. Instead of coming up with a plan to drive World Cup football traffic to our way, she sent homeless drug addicts into our community, so soccer fans would not have to see them in downtown, the waterfront, or Pike Place Market. Wilson claims to be an advocate for marginalized communities of color, but all she did was turn the CID into a human dumping ground, and we've had enough. We will no longer be taken advantage of by white city leaders who only come to the CID for dim sum. We are more than just here for your entertainment. This is so racist. We have senior citizens, a rich cultural history, and we want to preserve our identity. Mayor Wilson, please show up and help us out. Otherwise, we will be protesting you until you fix this problem that you made worse.
And so, to put it bluntly, Seattle, you're screwed. Because let's break this down. She told them a few things that obviously she lied about completely. She said, one, there will be zero tolerance for drug use, drug dealing, anything like that in this particular community. Obviously, that was a lie. Then she said, on top of that, that they will drive traffic with the World Cup coming into town. That's going to be a benefit to you guys. It's going to help your local businesses. That was a lie also. The only thing that was driven that direction was the homelessness that she drove to that area. It's funny because you get what you vote for, ladies and gentlemen. This is the reality, and it sucks. These are people's real lives, so it's not funny in that type of manner. It's funny in the sense of, what did you guys really expect when you voted for the Democrat Socialist with zero experience of how to actually run anything, who still depends on mommy and daddy when it comes to their own personal lives, and yet they thought this person was qualified to run a pretty major city in America? And the worst part is, you have people out there who are business owners. These are business owners who are voting against basically their own self-interest when they decided that, yeah, we're going to vote for the Democrat Socialists. Make that make sense, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, come on. Democrat Socialists and business growth, that's like water and oil. I mean, she really sat there and convinced these people, told them a lie that World Cup coming into town, always going to be traffic, there's going to be people, they're going to be coming in, they're going to be patronizing your businesses. I mean, did you even do like a studies? Did you have a committee? Did you have like anything in place as far as to prove this? Or did you just say it because it sounds good? I mean, really. But they aren't the only ones who are upset with the mayor when it comes to crime and the lack of public safety. Check this out.
Seriously. Well, I don't know what they were yelling.
One of our employees just said, hey, can you just not throw trash in front of our business? And that was enough to set them off. And one of them grabbed him and threw my employee on the ground. And then 4 other people came in and started kicking him in the face and the stomach.
Oh, they were, all 4 of them were kicking and stomping and trying to curb stomp me.
One of them pulled out a knife just as the officers were pulling up. So it could have gotten really bad, and me and one of my managers got involved and pulled people off of Ken.
Excellent job, Seattle Police Department. We're right around the corner from Blanchard Street where the open air drug market is.
I definitely feel that with the cleaning up of around the stadium, a lot of faces that we don't normally see have been pushed up this way.
And that's a theme throughout Belltown, Capitol Hill, and other neighboring neighborhoods, including Queen Anne. And of course, we know what's going on at the Chinatown International District.
Get some ice on that.
I will.
Reset the tone of this city, that people will be held accountable, charged, and do real jail time here in the city of Seattle, and they will not be diverted, and they will spend time in jail. That's where we need to be.
And this is why when they keep on telling you in places like Seattle, in California, Los Angeles, you got Karen Bass, you got them that keep on saying the same thing. Oh, these people need some place to stay. We need to get these people housed. This is not about housing homeless. These people are on drugs, they're junkies, they're getting high, and they're triggered easily because of their drug addiction, where something like this could happen to somebody who's trying to run a business, and now they got to fight for their life, where that could have went way worse. But the way they go about believing that they can solve the homelessness crisis is by just building more housing, making sure you got some place for these people to stay. When in fact, these people need to be held accountable, not enabled by giving them drug kits so that way they can continue to use drugs, allow for out in the open drug use without any consequence. But that will require enforcing the law, which is something we see is not really a priority. Yeah, so that brings us to this next clip where apparently Seattle was facing a $488 million budget over the next 3 years, but somehow found money to establish listen to this, a trans and queer interdepartmental team to fund trans and queer refugees, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not making this up. Take a listen.
Today, I'm here to share comments on the Trans and Queer Interdepartmental Team, IDT, formed by the mayor to establish a structured permanent framework for supporting transgender and queer individuals who have relocated to Seattle to escape hostile environments in other states. The clear intent of the IDT is to redirect public funds to pay for housing, food, and elective and cosmetic medical procedures for trans individuals. We oppose the use of taxpayer money for these purposes. It's clear that the appeal made to the mayor to declare an emergency of trans refugees was based on highly inflated numbers and that no such emergency exists. I am calling on the council to take action to disband the IDT, and I will bring more public attention to this issue to help facilitate this. It is ironic to claim there is a genocide on the trans community when the truth is that the trans movement is the genocide upon our people. It is unconscionable to persuade a child to damage or destroy their reproductive organs before they've even reached the age of consent. The trans movement is a glamorized form of population control pushed by leftist ideology. So yes, trans individuals have been victimized, but not by Republican policy. In fact, Seattle Republicans can be a part of welcoming them, seeing them as equals under the law, and recognizing them as contributing members of society. Thank you very much.
And so I'm going to go ahead and leave it right here. This is what it looks like when you elect a socialist, ladies and gentlemen. Crime out of control, businesses are suffering, homelessness is out of control. And they think the solution is more taxpayer dollars for more government programs and more government programs that require more taxpayer dollars. I mean, you're in a $488 million deficit over the next 3 years, and you say, you know what we should do? Put up a sign inviting the trans community to Seattle so that way they can use taxpayer dollars to enable their mental illness. But those are my thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. Now I want to hear from you. Drop your comments down below. I appreciate when you guys chime in. Don't forget, you enjoy the content, smash that thumbs up. For more, subscribe to the channel. And as always, until next time.